In this video, I'm going to put two of the biggest names in acoustic guitars head to head so that you can decide which one comes out on top for your needs. To spice things up, I'm then going to put up a third mystery acoustic guitar so that you can compare the sound blind. The clips are all available to download as high resolution 4824-bit WAV files, and this is the only way to find out what that mystery acoustic guitar is. So if you want to find that out, hit the link below and you can download the WAV files right now. Also, if you're in a band, you should check out my Ultimate Gear Guide. This is a complete guide for outfitting your band's gear needs, no matter what your budget. The link is in the description below and it's completely free. Okay, so here we have two acoustic guitars from two of the biggest names on the planet, Martin and Taylor. The aim is to put them side by side to compare the tone so that you can make an informed choice on which brand is best for you. It's not going to be a super scientific test, but it will be more than good enough for you to get a taste of the differences between them and decide which one is best for you. This is a Martin DC1E. It falls around the middle area in terms of price point. I paid about £1,200 for this back in 2010-11. Beautiful guitar, satin finish, different tone woods, and also a built-in Fishman pickup and tuner. Going against the Martin is this Taylor. This is an 814 CE. It's one of the highest end Taylors you can buy. This is the 2020 model and they cost around £3,500 brand new. Now obviously there's going to be some big differences in terms of the build and finish given the price differences between these guitars. But one thing that Martin and Taylor are remarkably good at is achieving their trademark tone across the broad range of guitars they produce. So for the purpose of this video, we'll clearly be able to hear the differences between the two brands. Both guitars have Elixir Phosphor Bronze NanoWeb guitar strings. These are the best acoustic guitar strings on the market. If you're not using them, grab yourself a set and you'll instantly hear a difference. I've put a link in the description below. Once you've heard both clips, I'll then play the mystery guitar using the exact same recording chain so that you can compare the sound. One thing I will tell you is that this mystery guitar is around half the price of the Martin and around 7 times cheaper than the Taylor 814. So let's get started. I've recorded 3 clips that I'm going to play back to back, starting with the Martin first, then onto the Taylor, and then finishing with the mystery guitar. I'm recording all 3 guitars using an AKG 414 microphone, which is a very clean and transparent microphone, going into a Neve 1073 preamp, a really common and standard preamp with lots of similar clones. There is zero processing on any of the takes, there's no EQ, no compression, so all you're hearing is the raw sound of the guitars. For best results, make sure you're watching this video in the highest quality and listening on studio monitors or high quality headphones. If you'd like to download the high resolution WAV files, they're included in the description below. Okay, so it's pretty clear that all of these guitars have some pretty big differences when it comes down to tone, and which you prefer will largely depend on your individual taste. Personally, I love all three of these guitars for different reasons, but when it comes to recording, I prefer the Taylor. The Taylor is much brighter and has a lot going on in the mids and the highs. By comparison, the Martin is much smoother in the highs and has much fuller low, mids and lows. My personal preference is I love bright acoustic guitars, especially in a dense rock or country mix. And when I only had the Martin, I'd find myself having to filter out a lot of those lows and low mids and boosting a ton of presence in the highs and the upper mids to get it to poke through. That's not the case with the Taylor. It's much brighter and it sits in the mix much better with less processing. Now, if I was just recording a simpler acoustic singer-songwriter arrangement, then the Martin would be a great option. Here, there is much more room for that low end to bloom and fill out the mix, and I can imagine if you use the Taylor for this application, that you would have to add some lows to fill out that area. Some extra points I love about the Taylor is the V-class bracing. This kind of internal bracing adds extra stiffness across the middle of the guitar, and the benefits of this are twofold. Firstly, it offers much improved intonation, so any notes or chords you play anywhere on the fretboard are more in tune with each other, and it also gives this guitar huge sustain. The increased rigidity allows the strings to resonate for longer before fading out, and this is really noticeable when you play both guitars side by side. Now, before I bought the Taylor, I thought there's no way that any guitar can be worth nearly £4 grand, especially given how good the Martin is. I thought there's no way any guitar could be worth £2,500 more than that Martin. But then I went to a studio that had an 814 and I played it. I fell in love with it instantly. The feel and the finish is far better, and this little armrest not only looks incredible, but also makes playing this guitar an absolute pleasure. And most importantly, it sounds incredible when mic'd up. It's one of the best acoustic guitar sounds I've ever heard. So for me, I was sold. So in conclusion, if you love bright acoustic guitars with lots of sustain and appreciate a high-end finish with lots of high-quality materials, then the Taylor 814 will be worth every penny. And if you need an acoustic guitar to cut through dense rock and country mixes, then going for a Taylor is a no-brainer. However, if you prefer darker acoustic guitars that have a bigger overall size to their sound with huge round lows, then the Martin is probably the way to go. Now, let's talk about the mystery guitar. In my opinion, this doesn't sound like a cheap guitar. I think it stacks up really well against both the Martin and the Taylor, and if you can't stretch your budget to something like an 814 just yet, then you absolutely don't need to worry. In terms of sound, I think it sits pretty well in between the Martin and the Taylor. The lows are full and big, and the highs are nice and present. It's certainly brighter than the Martin, but it doesn't have the clarity and the punch that the Taylor 814 has. Which do I prefer? Well, there's no doubt for me that I prefer the brightness and the clarity that you get from the Taylor 814 out of pretty much any acoustic guitar that I've ever heard or used in the studio. But does this mystery guitar sound 7 times cheaper than the Taylor and half the price of the Martin? Well, in my opinion, no it doesn't. If you want to know what the mystery guitar is, then you need to download the high resolution WAV files where each of the tracks are labelled with the guitar used. The link is in the description below. Don't forget, you can also grab my ultimate gear guide. This is a complete guide to outfitting your band's gear needs, no matter what your budget. The link is in the description below and it's completely free to download. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this video useful and it's helped you make a decision on which acoustic guitar might be best for you. I'll see you soon.